Good morning, Rajesh. Rajesh Sharma, the CEO of Fancamp Resources, is with me today for an interview, an introduction of the company. And the one thing, Rajesh, that really is immediately obvious when one has a look at Fancamp is that you are one of the rare companies that is not only asset rich, but also rich in cash, which is a rare combination for a junior mining company. So with that, I'd like you to give us a high-level introduction about the company, and then also we'll talk later about yourself and how you got involved.
Thank you very much, Sven. It's a pleasure to be talking to you today. Yes, as you mentioned, Fancamp is a very interesting exploration company, primarily focused on the mineral exploration in the Canadian landscape. We have several, mineral properties which are in various stages of development. In addition to that, as you rightly said, we have assets in terms of cash, marketable securities, some very, very interesting investments. So in that sense, it's really a unique company. And I'm very pleased to, share about the company, its direction, its strategy. I know that Fancamp is a company which has not been much talked about, but that is why we are here for.
Yes.
So Sven, if you allow me, maybe I will share a presentation and talk through that and give you a good overview of the company, and then we can address some questions.
Definitely. While you're pulling up the presentation, Rajesh, I'd still like you to give a little bit of background about yourself. You have been involved with Fancamp now for roughly 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. You joined as a CEO. Beforehand, there was quite an interesting, let's say, I would say even a proxy battle going on between the previous management and your group that you basically represent. And finally, you took you succeeded in taking over the majority of the company, and since then have been running the company as CEO. So it is, I think, important not only to go into the details of the assets, but also give a little bit of color about what happened there and how you came to your current position.
For sure. So, Sven, I think I got involved with Fancamp more than a year ago. The board of the company was looking at bringing about the change, and that's how I got involved with the company on an interim basis. And thereafter, we are all aware that the company went through a proxy fight, and things have settled down. We had an AGM in October, and the board and the management now is fully aligned, and we have a clear-cut strategy and path forward to go ahead and create value for our shareholders.
Okay, good. All right. So why don't you just walk us through then?
Yeah. So Fancamp, as I mentioned, Sven, is a very interesting company, and in your preamble, you had clearly highlighted that with a market cap of roughly 17 million and cash and marketable securities of over $25 million. So that's a really very interesting position for a mineral exploration company to be in. We have a significant portfolio of projects, which I'll briefly talk about. The interesting thing about Fancamp is that it has got a diversified exposure in base metals, precious metals, strategic minerals, and we also have a titanium technology play in addition to our investments and portfolio of royalties. We, as you would have seen, have limited exposure to the market. So that's one of the things which we are really working on. We have a great, experienced and diversified board with expertise in capital markets, in technical expertise, in explorations, in corporate development, building companies, and my own experience is really globally in minings and metals industry, and have been involved in advancing several exploration and mining projects, have been involved in number of acquisitions, joint ventures, and deals internationally, both in North America, Africa, and India. And we also have, great management team, which is continually building, and we are strengthening the team now. We have Francois Auclair as our VP of Exploration, top quality professional geologist. We have Enrico de Cesare, who's leading the titanium technology initiative. And we are looking at opportunities to continually strengthen the team further. Really, this is what the company is focused on. It's a three-pronged strategy, as we call. We have a portfolio of exploration properties, and I'll talk about it, that we rationalize the portfolio. We are now looking at advancing select properties, and we are also looking at actively marketing properties for joint ventures, options, any which way we can monetize. Mm-hmm. As you know, Sven, that a company like Fancamp cannot, focus on 90 properties, but we really want to use the portfolio which we have to create value for our shareholders. On the titanium side, this is a play where the company has been involved in developing and patenting this new technology. And our objective is really to take it to a critical point where we get these strategic partnerships, we get the funding for the pilot plant, and then spin off and monetize it for the benefit of the Fancamp shareholders. And the third piece, as I highlighted before, is our strategic investments, which we have invested in a very interesting rare earth element company. As you know, with the geopolitical changes, rare earth focus or critical and strategic minerals focus is very important in North America. And that's the opportunity which Fancamp wants to exploit. And we have acquired a 15% stake in a private company called Neoterex, and are closely involved with that company. We also are looking at acquisition of development projects, which have potential for near-term monetization and or near-term cash flow. And as you had rightly pointed out, Fancamp is in a pole position, if I may use the word, since it has got a very strong balance sheet, it has got cash, and now it, in addition to progressing its own, exploration properties, its own titanium technology initiative, it can look at acquiring new development projects or investing in some of the interesting opportunities which are out there in the market.
Yes. Thank you so far. Just on the side of cash, you said you currently have about $25 million in cash and assets in money.
Correct.
Okay, and the cash component itself is?
The cash component, Sven, would be roughly $6 million.
$6 million. And is there any recurring cash flow from royalties that you own? Or I know that was the case in the past, but is that still something you can basically calculate with?
At this point, we do not have recurring cash flow with the royalties, but we have, based on the progress of the production, we will get some payments from the mineral deposits which Champion Iron owns, and we also have royalties on this new investment which we made in the lithium project. So that's a future cash flow. Currently, we only got recently, we were happy to get the dividend from Champion Iron, where we have over 3 million shares.
Yes.
And which we are very pleased about.
Well, but that is also cash flow. It's just in the form
Correct.
of dividend, but that's important. And just to give our listeners a little bit of an understanding, what was last year's dividend that you obtained, just roughly?
It's a bit over $300,000.
Okay,
right? Yeah.
But that's basically a good start to cover some of the G&A for a company already, which is a great position again, because cash is one thing, but cash flow, be it in the form of a royalty or in the form of a dividend, is really something that is really, I think, makes Fancamp stand out. Okay, so exploration properties, there's many of them, too many for to go into much detail with each one of them, but maybe you would like to highlight one or two of them that are currently in the forefront.
Absolutely. So I think let me share with you, this busy screen, which is what we had. And now we are focused on a few properties. And the ones, if you see on the screen right now, we have the orange ones. If you look at Harvey Hill, Clinton, these are the two properties which have tremendous potential for copper and other base metals. We believe we will really have very good results from them. At this point of time, we are running an exploration program for both these properties. And as we speak, there is drilling going on in this Clinton property, and it will be followed by Harvey Hill. There is additional work which we are doing on some other properties, and you will see an announcement very soon in the region. We are also looking at BTM surveys for one of our other base metal properties. So there's a lot of activity on the exploration front, which is already been announced, and there are a few more announcements which will follow, as you will see in the coming days.
What's this year's budget for the exploration activity? What did you?
So we have a flow-through financing, which we did in the end of 2020. And we have more than $1 million in the flow-through funds. And our budget is roughly matching that flow-through financing, which we did. Okay, so it's $1 to $1.2 million. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And most of it for the base metals, but there are a couple of precious metals projects as well in your portfolio, but they might be a little bit on the back burner currently, or?
No, this is the current campaign. So precious metal projects also, Sven, a good question. So the ones which I'm very excited about is this Stokes. And we are looking at some interesting opportunities in Heenan Mellard. These are the two projects which we have in Ontario. And there are, several, ideas which are right now on the table of how we can either advance the exploration activity or monetize it in some other form or manner through a joint venture or other spin-off.
Okay, I think we should leave it for the time being with the exploration. Do you want to talk about the titanium technology at all, or should we leave that for another time? Should we make a separate, let's say, session to talk about the titanium?
So I can give you a quick 1 minute idea for your listeners. So basically, Fancamp is really trying to complement the pigment industry and to value add its own resources. As you would have seen in the map, which I just showed you, we have titanium deposits in terms of Magpie and Mingan. And we are really trying to establish and patent a process which covers various streams across the titanium mineral beneficiation value chain in terms of agglomeration, in terms of upgraded titanium dioxide, titanium metal, and hopefully reach the 3D printing quality stage. So that's an high level view. We have filed for the patents. We have done the work for the proof of the concept. We are now in the process of doing the final bit of test work, working on getting the grants from the government, working on strategic partnerships, and obtaining funding to advance this initiative. So that's at a very high level where we are on titanium, Sven.
Okay. Titanium is a bulk commodity used by the DuPonts of this world. So we're talking potentially, I guess, in order to develop these things, it's going to be quite a higher capex, isn't it?
Yeah. So we are really right now focused on the technology play and reach a stage where we can get funding from governments and strategic partners to be able to advance that.
Okay, good. Understood. You're putting about $1 million into exploration this year, in base metals and precious metals. And what is the titanium technology part going to involve in terms of investment this year?
Yeah, so our investment in the titanium technology is roughly in the order of $150,000 to $200,000.
Okay.
And our main focus is to get the partnerships both with the governments and a strategic partner. Right.
Okay, good. So I think that it's the most important message really for me as an investor is what is the catalyst for the company to see a higher share price, to gauge more interest in the market? What is the immediate sequence of events that you see for coming forward? Yeah,
so I would say 3 or 4 things, Sven. So one is, obviously, we talked a bit about the titanium technology, so it's a really interesting space. The second is I'm really excited about the results of our exploration work, which you will start seeing in the coming months. As I said, that the exploration is ongoing now, so early summer you should see the results, and I'm very positive and optimistic about that.
Okay.
The third is, which I wanted to share a bit more, is another very interesting investment which we have made in a rare earth exploration company. And just to give you an idea, Sven, if you have a couple of minutes, these rare earth elements are a group of 17 chemicals.
I think we know about what rare earths are and what they're used for and why they're critical. So I think we can skip that pretty much.
Once we know the importance and the context, because that is the reason why Fancamp got involved with this company. Then this company is a private company, which is highly prospective. It has got 2 projects as we speak right now, Green Winds and Mount Discovery project. We were very excited about the highest neodymium values in grab samples in one of the properties. It is a private company. It's 15% ownership with Fancamp, and we are expecting that sometime this year it will become public. It is looking at acquiring more assets. It is very well funded. It has raised $5 million just in December and January this year. And we are very excited about this company getting new properties, progressing its current projects in a space which is very interesting, and then hopefully going public. So that's something which is very interesting.
Definitely, because that would give you access to an IPO, again, monetizing your investment here in this company. And it's my understanding is this is an exploration play, right? They are
absolutely,
okay.
absolutely.
All right, so that I think we should.
And just one other interesting kind of project or investing play which Fancamp has is in the Ring of Fire. So I don't know whether you want me to talk about that. So.
Well, definitely, your choice, but go ahead, please.
So I think this is the other one where we have 50% stake in a Copper Lake deposit in the Ring of Fire. And as we are all aware that recently the Noront ground was focus of a bidding war between BHP and Wyloo, and our claims are right in the middle of that ground. This is the blue which you see here is Fancamp's joint venture with Bold Ventures. And in 2015, there was a NI 43-101 report on inferred resource of roughly 86 million tons of CR203. And this, again, given the developments in the Ring of Fire region, this is a very strategic asset for us. We are watching the progress very closely, and I think it will become a very significant Fancamp asset, which we could monetize at some point of time in future. Okay.
I think, the yellow stuff is Noront, correct? And you're
correct.
You're the blue in the middle. And
exactly.
I think we should remind our listeners that Noront was, I think, sold for north of 700 million.
Exactly.
So that is really valuable ground. Question is, why would the buyer actually does the buyer need you to complete to actually move forward with putting this into production, or why do you think is your ownership here strategic?
Intrinsically, the resource is very interesting, and the second is, of course, we cannot speculate the future, but it is really within 2 kilometers of the principal development target of the Noront ground. So I think it has got tremendous potential. Yes. And at some point of time, we will be able to monetize it at a very good value.
Okay, well, bottom line is whoever bought Noront, I think it was an Australian company, they are now in charge to do something with it, to eventually put it into production, develop the infrastructure, and eventually this project will definitely benefit from all of this.
Absolutely. Okay.
But it's potentially further down the road. I get it. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for taking your time today, and pleasure talking, Rajesh.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Ciao.
Bye.